Saurabh, fourth car, rather three cars out in the market, fourth one just around the corner. What's the strategy? What's the game plan for Citroen in India right now?
But like we said, C5 was the flagship that was there to get the brand rolling in the country. People should understand what the premium brand Citroen was. C Cubed, very clearly we said one new car every year. We cheated this year because we got the electric as well. But the electric C3 was a variant of the C3. And now the C3 Aircross is here, 4.3 meter mid-size SUV. You'll see one more next year coming in. So clearly we are living up to the promise that we made to you.
Right. You had a top-down approach. You came in with the CKD, then of course localization as well. With the C3 Aircross as well, you've got a high degree of localization. How's it progressing for you guys in India, given the kind of products that you got? It's a very diverse range, SUV and SUV-ish products as well. So what's the progress on that front?
Again, C5 Aircross was a pure SUV, flagship product. Premium C SUV, diesel engine, 2-liter, 8-speed automatic, the works. C Cubed was supposed to be local from the word go. We worked on the platform for 4.5 years. Everything that you see is localized. C3 is 95% plus localized. C3 Aircross will be in similar range, give or take a percentage or two. The idea is that we should be able to go to market quickly, local, very strong vendor base here, and also provide a strong total cost of ownership support to the consumers, so that right from making parts to buying the car to keeping it for the next decade or so, customers find it easy, and that's exactly what we're doing. What is now happening is we are expanding our network. So we started small with 10 when we had the C5 Aircross. We finished last year with 30. By the time C3 Aircross goes on sale, it will be double to 60. We finished the year with close to 75, and by the time the next new product comes in next year, we'll be over 100.
Right. Let me just talk a little bit of the powertrains that you've got on offer, because C3, of course, which is where the C3 Aircross is based on, you had the petrol-only powertrains over there. The C3 Aircross, however, changes its positioning from a compact car. You've gone to a C-segment SUV for that matter, but you do not have a diesel powertrain in this lineup. Is there a reasoning? What's the thought behind that?
Two things. One, when we go to customers, they clearly tell us that they want a diesel or a big diesel when they're looking at a premium, big, heavy SUV. And that's why the C5 Aircross has a 2-liter diesel with an 8-speed automatic. That stays. C Cubed, we very clearly said we'll never put the diesel on it, because while the powertrain, the platform is powertrain agnostic, we can put ICE, BEV, whatever we want, but we are not going to put a diesel because there's diminishing demand. Second, the cost with the emission standards going up is significant, and the customers are not really willing to pay that kind of penalty on the emission standards. And the C3 Aircross will have a turbo engine at launch with a 6-speed manual, completely differently configured than what you will see on other platform vehicles. Pleasure to drive, very agile, very quick, very responsive, and that's what you will see very soon when you test drive the car. Will we have more variants coming in terms of powertrain options? It's a part of the life cycle planning, and you will see that. You will, I will just say, stay tuned.
Okay. Where do you think this would be positioned against competition in the market? Where do you think this is going to fit in? Who are going to be your principal competitors in the segment?
Well, without naming very clearly, I would say 4.3 meter puts it right in the heart of the mid-size segment. Some very formidable competitors there, and that's where we intend to take it. However, a very purpose-built vehicle with clear feedback from consumers. This is the only SUV there where you will have a 5+2 seating option, and that takes us back to what I've been sharing with you, that we've been talking a lot to consumers, and consumers in this particular category have been telling us that we want a SUV form factor, we want the flexibility of seating and luggage space, give us something, and that's exactly what we've designed. 2,671 millimeters of wheelbase, 200 millimeters of ground clearance, clearly SUV form factor. Interior room is an edge. And based on a 4.3 overall length, we've been able to put in a 5+2. It's not a full-blown 7-seater. We don't call it a 7-seater. We call it a 5+2, and that's what it serves its purpose for. So clearly, heart of the mid-size SUV market.
Right. So the C3 Across is something that is very specific and unique to India at this point in time, because this has been developed keeping in the Indian markets, and it's not been launched anywhere or at least showcased anywhere else around the world. My question to you is this: with the 1.2 liter, you've taken a lot of customer clinic feedback, from there, and that's how the development happened as well. A 1.2 liter, which I would presume makes about 120 to 140 PS of peak power, about 200 to 220 Newton meters of max torque when it's launched. You'd reveal the specs, but do you think that is enough for a vehicle of this sort? Because you're talking about a 5-seater C-segment SUV with a 5+2 option as well. Have consumers that you've spoken to really understood this formula?
So one thing, the first thing I would like to clarify is while we are talking, at the same time this vehicle is being revealed in Brazil as well. So Latin American market gets the same vehicle, tweaked differently to cater to their local requirements in terms of features and powertrains. Second, when we go to the consumers, clearly consumers want power, they want performance, they want maneuverability, and they want a sharp, quick, responsive engine. As soon as you get into the vehicle, I would like you to give me feedback on that one. And we are pretty confident with that. And that day is not far away when you will be driving this vehicle. This is completely, I would say, recalibrated powertrain. If you were to look at C3, the turbo, and the feedback that we have from the market, it's perhaps one of the fastest, most responsive engines that are there in the market. Pretty much we have the same feedback on this one. Despite the weight penalty, despite the size penalty, we haven't got any adverse feedback on it till now, and we'll be very happy to hear yours as soon as you get into the car.
All right. The plant, be it at Hosur or even for that matter at Pune, where engine and transmissions are being built, what's the capacity that they are working at right now? And with the C3 Across coming in, how is it going to affect your delivery or supply chains? Is there going to be any issues? So Citroen so far has not mentioned much about any issues in terms of deliveries being there so far. But with this coming in and probably adding significantly more volumes, is there going to be any change? And was there any planning required to circumvent that?
So two things. We have the vehicle facility at Tiruvallur. Installed capacity of 100,000 units there. We've got a greenfield powertrain facility at Hosur, 300,000 gearboxes facility there. The powertrains, including engines, are localized. No issues in terms of capacity. We are supplying about 2.5 lakh gearboxes to Europe annually. And we have enough room at Tiruvallur with this vehicle coming in. Within the group, clearly there's a clear support for any country going into launch mode, so no issues in terms of components or chip supplies and stuff like that. So we haven't really had any issues on that. So whether it's electric or the C3 or the electric or the C3 Across, we don't see any issues on that. We clearly configured to take on the numbers on this vehicle.
Right. Thanks so much, Saurav. Thanks for your time and wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much. Happy to have you here.